Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at our iPhone 16 and compare it against the iPhone 13 mini and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now, first things first, both these phones I think are still very, very good to pick up, but clearly the iPhone 16 is a better one here. If you have all the money in the world, please go for something like the iPhone 16. It is a significantly better phone. But I think the 13 mini still has a lot of capability, a lot of power behind it, and I still think it's still completely worth buying for a lot of people out there as well. So, if you want to pick up either one of these phones, links are down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside, the iPhone 13 mini on the front side of this particular phone is basically giving you a fairly small, display. It's not the biggest display of all time. It is a Super Retina XDR OLED display. 60 hertz, definitely a much smaller display for the most part than the iPhone 16, but it's a good size in the hand. And this is something that I really liked about the iPhone 13 mini, was that it was still a very high resolution, and you're still getting the notch up top, so it's not anything super insane. It's still, a decent panel. But I do think if you're going to go and buy a phone, I do think Apple did a good job making a phone of this size, because it is one of the smaller sized phones you can basically buy that's still supported with iOS. Now, on the iPhone 16, this one is giving you a bigger 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So this type of panel is a little bit different. So for number one, it is a bigger sized panel. It is a very high resolution on this panel as well. It is 60 hertz though, and it gets 2000 nits of brightness. So those are some really big things to keep in mind here, because if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, you're probably going to be getting a device on the iPhone 16 that's newer, it's better, it should be a better panel, but it really doesn't seem like it's that big of a difference if I'm being honest. I wish it was a bigger difference. Unfortunately, it isn't. So there's not really that much we can do about it, but it's still a good looking panel nonetheless. Now, for the rest of the bodies, both are fairly similar. You can kind of get an idea of how much smaller the iPhone 13 mini is compared to the iPhone 16. Both are giving you these volume buttons on the side. The iPhone 16 is giving you this action button on the side there, which is really cool. On the top, you're not really getting anything. On the bottom side, you're basically getting a Lightning port on the iPhone 13 mini, where you're getting a USB Type-C port on the iPhone 16. So this in and of itself is a very, very big difference. And again, having that type of change, basically going from Lightning to USB-C, is very, very big. And I do think that in and of itself is a very big change that we're looking at there. On the other side, we're basically getting this camera button on the right side of this phone. It's not really the biggest difference in the world, but it is still something really nice to have. And then you're getting the power buttons right up here. And that's kind of it. Beyond both, they're very, very similar. On the back side, there is a slight difference though. You're getting a dual camera setup on both. You're getting this diagonal camera on the iPhone 13 mini, where it's now vertical on the iPhone 16. I actually do kind of miss this type of camera layout. I thought it was very unique in a way. Unfortunately, they went back to the vertical, which I'm already kind of used to be honest. Standard glass back on the iPhone 13 mini, where the iPhone 16 is giving us this frosted glass back. So this in and of itself, again, is another very big change, going from standard glass to frosted glass. Both are giving us MagSafe capabilities right here. They both support wireless charging. The iPhone 16 supports reverse wired charging through the USB Type-C port. So still a nice thing to have, but and definitely I would say the iPhone 16 is the better feeling iPhone, but the 13 mini really isn't that far behind either. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there. Now, in terms of the software longevity, this is another very big thing to keep in mind here too. And both phones are still supported with software, and they're probably going to be supported with software for several more generations, from now. So neither one of these phones are going to be outdated anytime soon. And I do think that's a pretty big thing to keep in mind. If you're wanting the phone that's going to last the longest amount of time, it's going to be the iPhone 16 here for sure. But the 13 mini is still supported with software, still has a couple years ahead of it. It's probably going to last until iOS 20 or iOS 21 or 22, hopefully. So it can last anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 years, but probably more closer to 3. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now let's go do a speed comparison between both these phones. The iPhone 13 mini had that Apple A15 body chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 16 had that Apple A18 chip inside of it with 8 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster phone between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background. So let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing. Music 3, 2, 1. About the same thing too. App Store 3, 2, 1. And 2 different pop-ups, but even then by loading 2 different pop-ups, the iPhone 16 was still faster, which was pretty interesting. Scrolling through here, I don't think there's going to be that big of a difference. Hopping out of these two. Settings 3, 2, 1. About the same thing. Photos, 3, 2, 1. iPhone 16 again is faster. Mail, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's do camera, 3, 2, 1. Okay, nothing super crazy. A little glitch hopping out of the iPhone 13 mini. Let's get into stack, 3, 2, 1. And they're both on iOS 18 as well. So kind of one of those things to keep in mind here. You can see right here. I'm not really too sure which one was the faster one there. Getting out of these two, let's kind of see what else is going on. And they both look kind of to be the same, not really that big of a difference. Hopping out of here, thank you, 3, 2, 1. And with this one, be curious to see what it is. And you can see the iPhone 16 again. Faster one by quite a bit. The iPhone 13 mini a little behind. Snake vs. Blocks, 3, 2, 1. And within this game, a little bit of a pop-up there, a little unfortunate. But even without that pop-up, I think the iPhone 16 still probably would have been a little bit faster. Scrolling through here, kind of about the same thing. Hopping out of here. Let's do Netflix, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 16 is faster, 13 mini a little bit behind. Let's do Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And you can see right here, definitely without a doubt, it's still going to be the iPhone 16. The 13 mini is a little behind. You can see that little pop-up right there, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. But you can see right there for yourself, I definitely do think the iPhone 13 is a little bit slower. But what I'll probably tell you is between both, the 16 is definitely going to be faster. The 13 mini is going to be a little bit behind, but that's kind of okay with something like the iPhone 13 mini. But I'll definitely tell you, when it comes down to both, you're definitely going to be getting a faster phone on the iPhone 16 without a doubt when compared to something like the iPhone 16. So from that side, that kind of covers it out there. Now, another very big thing is with the cameras. So like I said before, you're getting a dual camera setup on both of these phones. So I love getting a dual camera setup. I think it makes these phones look really, really nice, which is genuinely very cool. But you're getting 4K at 60 on the front and the back of both. So there is a lot of overlap here for sure, because it's not like one phone is like significantly better than the other one, at least from like the hardware standpoint. You do have this dedicated camera button though on the iPhone 16, which allows you to basically zoom in and zoom out within that type of lens, which I do think is actually kind of nice, right? I think it's a very good camera nonetheless. With something like the iPhone 13 mini and the iPhone 16, you can see the iPhone 16 gets 10x zoom, where the iPhone 13 mini is giving you 5x zoom. So that is a slight difference. Both are giving you video mode. Both are giving you cinematic mode. And cinematic mode actually debuted on the iPhone 13 mini. You are getting this new spatial mode instead of the iPhone 16. I'm not really too sure how many people are going to use it. But once again, it is a nice little feature to have inside of your phone. But yeah, I will say the quality of these two are going to be very similar. There's going to be a lot of overlap here. But if you're wanting the phone that's going to be better here, it probably is going to be something like the iPhone 16. That's probably going to be the better camera here. And to be honest, it's quite clear to me that the iPhone 16 is going to be the better phone in almost every single way. There's not really a situation where I would look at on the iPhone 16 and think it's a worse phone. This phone is significantly better, and there's a lot of reasons for that. It's more expensive, it's a newer phone. This phone is going to be lasting longer. You're getting a better display and a bigger display. You're getting a better camera setup. You're getting USB Type-C, the camera button and action button, which are kind of okay, but a faster performing phone and a newer phone, which is kind of what you're paying for. With the iPhone 13 mini, there are a lot of features and advantages for this phone. It's a smaller phone, one of the last small iPhones you can buy that still looks like this. Very, very good display for its size, very good camera for its size. Basically, this phone is an amazing phone for its size, and especially for its price. This phone is like sub $400 right now. It's a very good priced phone. It's like less than half the cost of an iPhone 16, but it's not half the phone, right? So take it as you will, but I probably would say something like the iPhone 13 mini is a better value per dollar than something like the iPhone 16 in my personal opinion. So that's kind of how I see it. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video.